Hi Samima.
Hey, Hora.
We're meeting each other this week in your therapy room,
Yes.
not mine anymore. And actually, we are going to record a special episode here. So today, and that will be for the celebration of and the recognition of World Philosophy Day, which is
Congratulations, happy World Philosophy Day, our viewers.
And which is on the third Thursday of November, and will be this week on the 21st of November. So we decided as philosophers and therapists to talk about what do we mean by philosophy, and how we recognize ourselves as philosophers, how we can, how we will be able to recognize ourselves in terms of having a philosophical profession. And so we're going to talk about the discipline philosophy, and the most important part that makes the discipline philosophy, the methodology in philosophy. So we are inviting you all to this short episode.
It's just a special treat.
Exactly, it's a special treat for really the recognition of us as students of this discipline, and how we privileged are in terms of being able to represent such an ancient and valuable discipline that we are all nurturing ourselves and our soul in it. So, floor is yours. What is philosophy, Salima?
Oh, such an easy question, Nora.
Such an easy question. Yeah.
This is the question we always address in our first class whenever we are teaching any new course on philosophy, and we always end up with we have no definition for you. We have no clear way of telling you this is philosophy. We just give you some kind of boundaries and ways of assessing what it is, and that's what probably we'll try to do here today as well. So I think there are three ways in which we can think about philosophy. So one is the most commonsensical, the most normal way. This is my philosophy of life, live and let others live, or carpe diem, seize the day. So quite often philosophy is used as a motto that you live by, or the values that are guiding your life. So that's one sense of philosophy. The other end is the discipline that in which we are embedded, the canonical writers, thinkers, certain questions that have been asked since the day one of philosophy, and still being asked, still being answered. And so that's the other part of philosophy, which is the discipline, history of ideas, the canon. But in between that, there's this third thing. This is the thing about what we call the philosophical thinking. The very act of philosophizing, and that's the one, I think that's the one that is hardest to define, because I think the best I can say is that it is these ever recurring questions that can never be answered fully, and that are so essential to human existence, because without that reflective question, I would even question whether you are human or not. Of course, what canon does is put it into a methodological and structured way. But the act of asking these questions and reflecting on these truths of life is very basic human tenet. We all start with that, wonder, that question around our existence, and that is the act of philosophizing, and that's the most basic human thing that you do. So I think that's what I take philosophy to be. Your thoughts?
I guess I just want to maybe start with the father of philosophy, at least in Western philosophy and in Western
modern Western philosophy.
Western philosophy, and that is Socrates.
Oh, so you mean the ancient, not modern?
No, so it's just and he talks about philosophy starts with wonder. So this wonder, the same things that you were mentioning just right now, the whole idea of not being satisfied with whatever you've got
Yeah.
in terms of this is my catch of
Mhm.
the world, and I'm interested to know more, and I'm not satisfied. I'm
Yeah.
not fulfilled with whatever I know,
Yeah.
the amount that I know, or the amount of engagement with the world that
Yeah.
I have. And when I say world, it's the world of life. I mean, it's not the third, the other. It's me. It's the other. It's the nature. It's the cosmos. It's my dreams. It's my
Yeah.
desires.
Whatever
my
comes to
wishes.
my consciousness,
Exactly.
whatever my consciousness can capture,
Exactly.
that's my world.
That is my world. So when I say world, I really mean all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you are constantly interested to know more about this, or to go deeper in relation to all these things that I have
Mhm,
mentioned, this means to have a wonder.
Yeah.
So you are a wondrous creature
Mm-hmm.
in relation to the things that make your world your world.
What do you take wonder to be? What's wonder for you?
I think wonder for me is I would put it in again in a phenomenological sense, because I can understand that openness as an attitude.
Okay.
Wonder gives me the possibility of being open to what comes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's more, for me, it's more like being open to whatever comes at me,
Mm-hmm.
and not being rushed into either classify it
Okay.
or judge it.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
stay with it.
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
wonder.
So being curious.
Exactly, constantly
Yeah.
being curious.
Yeah.
To engage with
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Not putting it into a category that I know this is this or this
Exactly.
is that.
Exactly.
So being curious, being open,
Yeah.
and being ready to engage with it. That openness.
Because what I feel and what I learned in all these years, I realized that learning and curiosity and being wondrous,
Mm-hmm.
it's not about the things that I don't know. So it's not about the uncertainty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even the whole idea of the categories of the certainties, whatever I am certain about.
Yeah.
Okay. For example, I checked the weather today. I know that from 10 a.m. till 12 a.m. To 12 p.m. will not rain.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a wondrous person, I will keep an openness. I will keep a very moment in my certainty
Mm-hmm.
as the possibility of be something else.
Mm-hmm.
Even if
Okay.
I know that I trusted an app,
Yeah.
that app gives me that amount
Prediction,
of
yeah.
prediction, exactly, some percent of prediction, but I keep open the possibility of this might not happen,
Yeah.
or this might be different.
Mm-hmm.
There is always an alternative.
Yeah.
I think being a wondrous person, or having a wondrous attitude toward the world means, even if I know, there is always that knowing
Okay.
comes with a new possibility.
Okay. Okay.
I know 2 + 2 is 4,
Mm-hmm.
but the moment I keep it as 4, I classify it and I close all of the
Yeah.
possibilities.
I know
with
it. It's in a box that of my
Exactly.
known things. I move on from it.
Exactly.
I keep it safe that I know it, and that's,
Yeah,
whenever I need
exactly.
it, I'll bring it out as a
True.
tool, and I just keep it there. So that's kind of like closing it, the wonder
Exactly.
of knowing 2 + 2.
Exactly. So it's just knowing it, classify it as, okay, I know that. That
Mhm.
was my engagement with the two numbers of 2 + 2 and 2.
And their addition.
That is my
and-
that is the addition. That is my engagement with the concept of addition. That is my engagement with the concept of number 2.
Mhm.
This is the thing that I can do with that concept.
Yeah.
But I think when you are wondrous, you keep always a possibility of there should be another way of engaging with that. Maybe there is another way of engaging with that I might not know yet.
Okay.
There is a not knowing yet.
Okay.
It's an attachment to knowing or classification. And if you have that attachment to your knowledge, any concept of knowledge that you have, I know my child, I know my husband, I know myself, I know my discipline, I know these people around me. As long as you have this attachment to them that I know them till now, I might not know them tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know all the possibilities that these people will give me. So it's a not yet. I know them till now, but I'm not sure about tomorrow
the future,
because I don't know all the possibilities that these people, these things in my life and in my world will give me.
Yeah.
So I see wonder in terms of such an openness.
Okay. So it's more like for you, it's the possibility of things unknown and openness to something different from what I accept.
I have already I have already accepted as
so in a way it's a risk taking.
Exactly.
It's accepting accepting the possibility of being in uncertain waters.
Exactly.
And it could bring anything.
Exactly.
And do you attach any kind of joy with that attitude, or do you think it is because of a child's wonder is an excitement based.
Exactly.
It's like I want to know more, and it comes with a sense of immense joy. Do you associate that with philosophical
It depends, I think,
wonder too?
Yeah, I think it depends on your very characteristics or personality in terms of are you happy to take a risk? Some people are happily taking risks, happily.
Yeah.
And they love that risk.
They love the openness of, I don't know what might come.
Exactly.
And they are ready to go through pain.
It's a thrill.
Yeah, it's like that adventurous attitude, that kind of adrenaline rush and all of that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But some people are.
Yeah.
And I think it's impossible if you're a wondrous person, if you have that openness, you're close to risk taking, because these two come together.
Together, you can't.
It's a very instrument of being wondrous is risk taking. I remember that it was week 9 and we were talking about death, and we covered 3 philosophies, and one of the notions that we have covered in the class was Socrates is talking about death, and he says philosophy is a practice of dying. And when I was preparing myself for the teaching, and when I was thinking about it, and when the students asked me how this is a job, this is a profession.
Why?
First of all, it's not a job, it's not a profession. When Socrates talks about that, it's a way of being. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what we are saying. It's not the
it's a
teaching
way of
and
being.
reading philosophy. It's basically it's the attitude, the philosophical attitude.
And even that, Samima, think about philosophy as a way of being is a practice of dying. How on earth something as a way of being can be practiced as
non-existing.
Exactly.
The opposite.
The opposite. How come? Yeah, this is very interesting.
Exactly.
Actually.
And death is something that you don't experience. It's the end of you. It's the end of all possibilities.
It's end of all possibilities.
Yeah,
that's
Heidegger puts
so
it. Yeah.
It's really interesting. And I thought, how would I be able to explain that? And I think we had a hand sanitizer on the table, and I said, okay, so let's philosophize about this. And we were talking about how we can philosophize about this, and say, okay, if you want to know something, imagine that you want to know this sanitizer. You see this on the desk. but you don't know what is this.
You don't
It's a
have
this,
the-
it's
yeah,
an it,
exactly, yeah.
you know.
It's a new thing for you.
Exactly, it's a new thing. You don't have any names for it. You don't know any classifications. You don't know the possibilities of this thing.
What
So
it
you don't know
does,
anything.
Yeah, what it
Exactly.
can offer.
Exactly. And what do you do? And the first move is, okay, I either hold it to know it better, or if it's stuck to somewhere, or it's stuck on the table and I cannot move it, I move around it.
Take a good view around it.
So
yeah.
what we do is perspective taking. Perspective taking is the most important thing that we do to know something.
Yeah.
We need to have a perspective.
Yeah. Know it from all sides.
All sides, exactly. So yes, some sides might be out of the vision, might be out
But
of
whatever
the
is
visual.
accessible.
Yes, we mostly take whatever we can perceive. The rest is imagination.
Yeah.
We imagine that possible.
Building it together
Exactly.
by bottom might be like this. If it's
Exactly.
stuck to the table, I believe it might be like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So partly comes with the perception, partly is imagination to hold the other thing together. So you have you make a concept out of this movement and perspective taking. In perspective taking, what do you do? Imagine, and I was giving them this this example. Imagine you are a drop of this hand sanitizer inside the bottle. How do you know yourself? Probably you don't know anything of yourself.
You're inside.
You're inside it. So if you want to know yourself, you need to take a perspective. Taking a perspective means detachment. You need to move away from something so you can take a perspective.
Yeah.
That detachment is the practice of dying. You detach from something that you called safe, you called home, you called comfortable, you called this is me existing, my very mundane everydayness. So you need to detach from that to take a perspective.
Yeah.
So you need to come out of the bottle to see where
imagine,
am I? Where
like,
am I?
You're not
Or at
physically,
least, where am I?
Yeah.
The moment that you come out, you understand that, people call me hand sanitizer. At least I know what is it.
Exactly.
But I think the moment that you come out, hand sanitizer is mostly is an alcohol. The chance is evaporation.
Yes.
Really, it's a chance of evaporation.
Yeah.
The moment that you take a perspective, you fell into the doubt that, am I right even? Is this where I belong? This is where I belong. Do I belong even? How do I feel when I take the perspective? How do I feel when I hadn't had a perspective?
Yeah.
So the moment that you take a perspective, you provide an option, an alternation to that way of being that you're supposed to call it life.
Yeah.
Your living, your being.
Yeah.
With that comes the risk of not liking to get back.
Yeah.
The risk is the evaporation of the alcohol. The risk is questioning yourself that, why I put myself in this little bottle? Maybe I just want a pool of hand sanitizer, not a bottle. Why they call me hand sanitizer at all?
Yeah, exactly.
So the moment that you take the perspective, the whole danger of doubting, or we call it danger because on an ordinary base it's just like you're calling into question whatever you believe.
Yeah.
So the danger of that is just losing the safety of home in terms of the way that you supposed to or used to call home.
Comfort of the known, the accepted,
Exactly.
and what you are already aware of, and it's comfortable.
Exactly.
Even though it might not offer many possibilities,
Perfect, yes.
it's comfortable.
Exactly.
I exist and I know who I am.
Exactly.
To some extent, what I am.
As long as I know that I
Yes.
belong, everyone
Yeah.
else, shoulder to shoulder of
Yeah.
drops of hand sanitizer.
Even
I
if
know
it's
them all.
if it's painful and uncomfortable, I know how painful it can get and how to manage with that pain. And I know that I might exist for next 10 seconds and then I will
Done,
go on.
yes.
But I know
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
this is how long I exist.
yeah.
And even if it's painful, it's known. It's not
Yes.
unknown.
Yes. Yeah,
And so of course the moment I take that perspective and the knowledge that it brings might actually put everything that I've known in jeopardy.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
impossible then to go back and be
And that was very interesting in terms of how Socrates actually give a similarity or see a similarity in philosophizing as a perspective taking.
Mhm.
Philosophy I think is a question. When you question about something, you're taking a perspective.
yeah
This is it. So
yeah
perspective taking means questioning.
yeah
Questioning is a very position that you put yourself, you are detached
yeah
yourself from it.
exactly yeah
That means you have taken a perspective toward
Exactly.
that thing,
Yeah.
and then you question it
yeah
from different perspectives.
exactly
You know,
Mm.
whether about the nature of it, about the functionality of
Mhm.
it, about the possibilities
Mhm.
that
It
thing
can
gives
offer,
you.
yeah.
So it's all about perspective
Yeah.
taking,
yeah
and that's why Socrates calls that it's a practice of dying, because it's a practice of detachment.
yeah
You constantly detach yourself
Yeah.
from something that it would give you a sense of belonging, a sense of
Mhm.
security, safety, home,
yeah
and you put it into perspective and you question it.
yeah
And I guess this is the whole methodology.
Mhm.
This is the whole
yeah
pillar
yeah philosophical
that
thinking.
philosophy is built upon.
Mhm.
So, in any moment of our lives, if we are taking a perspective,
yeah
if we are detaching ourselves from something that we call it knowledge, knowing. I know this about, for example, this table.
Mhm.
If I take a perspective and say, I might call this a table, but I guess some people can sit on it, so it can act as a chair.
Mhm.
That perspective taking is what we call philosophical engagement with something.
Mhm. yeah
What do you think about the philosophical engagement?
Yeah, so I was actually thinking about when we were talking about wonder, and I was going back to the idea of like this whole idea about, it's perspective taking and thinking about things from not just the mundane, immersed everydayness
Mhm.
of this is hand sanitizer, this is
Mhm.
table,
Mhm.
it has a use, it has a purpose, it's mine, it's yours, all of those things. And so if we want to apply philosophical thinking here, we say it's wonder.
Yeah.
What more it could be, or why it's the table.
Yeah.
Why it's your table or my table. All of those things. And Bonnie Mann, who is a phenomenologist and a feminist philosopher, she has this idea about if philosophy is all about wonder, where do we place feminist philosophy? Because as a feminist philosopher, the first thing you note is that I'm born in the wrong body.
Mhm.
Because being a woman puts me at a disadvantage.
Mhm.
And once it's after that, because you don't accept the status quo.
Yes, exactly.
That's the philosophical attitude.
Exactly.
If my mom tells me that girls should do this and boys should do that, the very first moment that I say, but why?
Mhm.
That's the philosophical
Yes.
wonder.
Yeah.
But the thing about feminist wonder is that it comes with anger.
Yeah.
It doesn't come with
Yeah.
joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because when you're talking about the possibility is this and that, it begins with a joyous wonder.
Mhm.
But when you think about feminist wonder, or wonder about race or anything, any injustice, anything that is there, it could come up with a lot of anger.
Mhm.
And that attitude about, but why this way? And it's not, so that's why I asked you, what's the emotion or mood? We did talk about the moods that is associated with this sense of wonder, whether it is always full of joy, because we always connect wonder with joy. And philosophical activity might look like, oh, I'm so happy about thinking, but
Sema, I still believe that it comes with joy, but
Mhm.
the anger comes when the joy is disrupted.
okay,
So again, it's a joy. That's why you ask why.
okay,
Because you want to do something else.
okay,
Because
okay.
you are already
Mhm.
thinking about an alternation.
Mhm.
You know, you're thinking about the alter. You're thinking
Okay.
about the other.
Okay.
If I don't want to wear something tights and I want to wear trousers, I have a joy,
Mhm.
or I have an expectation, or I have this feeling of I want this.
Okay.
It's a joyous wanting.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay, but when this is
Okay, I
disrupted
get
and
that.
inhibited, the anger comes to me.
Okay, so you're saying that the initial wonder is because of the joy of exploring
Yes,
and being
yes.
curious about the possibilities that are not
Because
there.
curiosity is all about being joyous. It's
Yeah,
just
exploring the world
exploring.
and
Yeah,
checking out what are the possibilities while
exactly.
being prepared that the possibilities might not be very good.
But again, this is the second thing
Yeah,
to it.
but it's again like this. They coexist and
Yes,
don't cancel
yes,
each other
yeah,
out.
yeah.
However, you're saying that when you are living in an unjust society, it's sort of masked by.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I get.
The very the emotion that comes after that, it's the way that the world responded to your joy. You know, your joy is responded with inhibition, with suppression,
Yeah.
with oppression, and that's when anger comes to be.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know, it's because my wonder is the way of me enjoying the possibilities that the world will give
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And I have the thing is, even in the phenomenology, when we talk about perception, you will always have a guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are
Expectation.
exactly.
You
I was
expect
looking
something.
I was looking for the word. So it's always about expectation.
Yeah.
You have an expectation. Your expectation either is fulfilled
Mhm.
or not fulfilled.
Yeah. Or if we go to existentialist language, it's an appeal.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
I do something with an appeal in the sense that, I would receive this kind of response.
Exactly.
But I'm also aware that it might be totally a different one.
And normally we don't have that knowledge.
We don't have that knowledge,
yes.
but that's embedded underneath.
Yeah.
And I think philosophy brings that uncertainty to the surface because you are quite. I think most of the time when people are living a mundane life, no judgment. We also have to immerse ourselves into mundaneness. That's why we get angry with people, because we believe that things should work like a clockwork. This is how
the expectation should be fulfilled, and
Yeah.
then new expectation will come
So,
to being.
Going back to your weather example, that it was supposed to not rain.
Yes.
I hung my laundry out there,
Yes.
and I'm angry at weather
Yeah.
that it didn't follow the warning.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, it's a very funny, stupid way to look at it, but that's what happens when you are immersed in mundaneness and everydayness, and you lose that idea of taking that perspective of a life and understanding the world, your existence and everything. And that's why, I think a lot of anxiety comes in, because this everydayness, the way we want to treat it and think that it would satisfy me, it doesn't. And that's why when people even have everything going right, this underlying anxiety is because as a human being you can't immerse yourself in this everydayness,
because the possibilities are ended. The very openness gives you the joy of moving forward.
Exactly. And it is the demand of your existence that you take this perspective.
Yes.
You reflect on your existence, because this comes with the deal of having a consciousness.
Yes.
This
exactly.
comes with the because we have discussed so much of it in phenomenology that you, as a human being, you always engage with the world with an intentionality. You're always building some kind of a worldview. You're always engaging with other people, and putting some expectations out there and then responding in response to that. So it's part of the package.
Yeah.
You know, you all the time you need to pull yourself out of it, take perspective, go back,
Exactly.
pull out this.
It's a constant movement
Exactly.
between the mundane and transcendence. Mundane and transcendence.
Exactly.
When we take a perspective in philosophy, it's a transcendence.
Yeah, and that's the death.
Exactly.
That's the dying.
The death. So that is exactly why Socrates talks about death, because it's really moving away from what I used to call life. This is what I call me. I move away. That closes off. In front of me. When I move away from
because
it.
you don't come back as the same person.
Exactly.
You change.
Exactly.
And that doesn't mean that the past would become or that place would become unlivable. But you can't live the same way you were living.
No, there is no sameness in that.
Exactly.
The moment that you take perspective, the sameness is gone.
Because you grew.
Yeah.
You are a different person now.
Exactly.
And so you go back as a changed person and you live that reality a bit differently.
Yes.
And so you just keep doing that.
It's just like dying and rebirthing. It's very, very interesting, that sense of, and this is even in psychotherapy. This is we call health. The movement between mundane and transcendence. And transcendence.
Yes.
You move between these two stances.
Exactly.
You experience. The thing is why we need mundane at all. Because everything happens in mundane.
Exactly. You need to immerse.
Exactly.
In order to live, you need to throw yourself.
Exactly.
So live there.
So living happens in mundane.
Exactly.
Really. But if you want to have a relationship with what am I doing, what is this thing that I call living, you need to have a transcendence perspective.
You remember that Thomas Nagel's chapter about absurd. He talks about that this is the whole idea of absurdity of our life, that we, in order to live, you need to take everything seriously. You know, what I'm going to cook for tonight, how I'm going to earn money, how I'm going to, clean this or whatever it is. You have to immerse yourself so seriously as this is the most important thing.
Yes, this is my project.
Exactly. And the moment you take a perspective, you feel like, I clean, it gets dirty. What's the point? Even if I have the best body, the best health, I will die in the end. What's the point? Why am I doing it? And that perspective taking just makes all the seriousness feel so unserious, so useless. However, you need to return back.
Exactly.
And these coexist. Any moment in the, sometimes like I'm talking about something I think is so profound, and then I feel like it's so stupid. In that very moment I feel like, and then I have to pull back because I have to immerse myself into that, because otherwise it's impossible to live. So living requires that you immerse yourself in the mundaneness and take your life seriously. Everything is extremely serious. Even putting the mascara on in the right way is extremely serious, because it will spoil your entire evening if you have blackness all around your eye. But you also have the capacity to take the perspective out. What if I look really ugly and stupid? What does it matter?
Yeah, and I think when we have it's interesting too. It's very interesting. And then when the clients say, I don't know what I'm doing, sometimes I feel that you're living.
Exactly.
This is called life. This is what exactly you're doing, that you just do it so seriously. You just put on the makeup and everything, and then all of a sudden you can say, what am I doing? What is this? It's okay. These two coexisting of these two, it's called life.
Exactly. And the reflection helps you understand what would be important for me, what brings meaning to my life. And you negotiate, you move, but that doesn't mean that reflection will make me like a sage. I will stop living. We still talk about makeup.
Exactly.
We still talk about clothes. We still talk about philosophy, raising children, afterlife, death. All of that exists because we find a place for each and everything in our life. And when we do it, we immerse ourselves into it. And when we reflect on it, we see the mundaneness, the everydayness, the ordinarity of that thing.
Yeah. And I think every reflection comes with the idea of how I how I'm playing this game, how good I am in this playing this seriousness, how I am really an expert in this game, because it's more like a game. First of all, it's a game that we only play once. There is no second
just
time.
one life,
and we don't have a
and you don't come out alive of this life,
and
you will live it in the end
exactly,
dead.
and we don't have a manual how to live it, actually.
Exactly, no
So
manual.
It's a very absurd, but at the same time tricky.
It's a hands-on learning.
Exactly, it's a hands-on learning. But the whole idea is, if either you stay in the mundane, so you reduce your life to the mundane, or you reduce your life to the transcendence and the reflection,
neither is balanced.
Neither of this is life.
These
two come together and make a healthy life.
And that's the tricky bit.
Exactly.
That's the tricky bit, and everyone does it differently. What philosophers do, that's where we can bring it back again, is that they actually thematize this questioning, this taking a step. So like philosophers are living their life, they are doing everything, they're eating, drinking, having relationships, being mean to each other, all of that.
Yes,
they are
much.
doing sometimes not in a very good way. But as a professional, what they know very well is how to thematize, reflecting on the mundaneness, and how to put it into a language, an articulate language, and give others a tool to actually, because it's a very arduous activity, it is so difficult, because now I reflect on my younger self, and I can see I was philosophizing. I can see why I was angry at certain things, why I was hanging out certain things, why I was doing things certain way, because I understand my dissatisfaction with things, my wonder at things, but I didn't have the language. I was too young, I was not trained, and then philosophy trained me, gave me the language, and now when I reflect on it, I have the backing. So that training is all the training for me to live my life, and I train other people.
I think philosophy, while it is when you're doing a philosophy, it's a practice of dying. Actually, it's a very idea of living.
Exactly.
So you live
as a human.
Exactly.
Philosophy is teaching you how to live
like as a human.
That's it.
And not as an angel, not as a saint, not as an evil, but as a human being with the possibility of acting like an angel and acting like an evil. So it's very, very important. What philosophy does is making you human.
And in our next episode, we'll talk about authenticity, which will link to this idea about, that is authentic living, not like living like an angel or a demon or mundaneness or the sagely living. No, it's about, understanding yourself and living authentically according to that. That's for the next episode. But that's where philosophy brings you, because it's only through reflection on, and it's personal. No one can give you the manual. And I think that's where, all three that we discussed in the beginning, this is the act of philosophizing, reflecting on your life, reflecting on who you are, and what you are doing, and that's the act of philosophizing. And canon brings it into a thematized form.
It gives you the history of thematization. How philosophers thematize this.
So and you go through different ideas to get an understanding of, okay, what are the nuances? What are the challenges? And that trains you to actually think about your own life and reflect on the mundaneness. And I think that's where, some of these reflections become distilled into these aphorisms that, live and let others live, carpe diem, based on how your reflection, like where your reflection led you. And it could be very different for different people. Like, I don't know what it is for us, because it will be like, at least an 80,000 word long aphorism. We are not, someone we plan to speak for 20 minutes today. I can see it's already 40 minutes. But so it is ultimately that thematization distilled that becomes the philosophy you live by. But it's never going to be fixed. You keep going. If you are living truly as a human, just pulling yourself out of that
Yes,
mundaneness,
yeah.
reflecting on it, coming back, and then again immersing yourself in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, even you see philosophers, they have a early Wittgenstein, late Wittgenstein,
Exactly.
early Husserl, late Husserl, early Freud,
Exactly.
late
You
Freud.
don't stay, if you're staying at one point, you're not growing.
No,
You,
then you haven't done the
You're dead.
perspective taking. It's
Yeah.
just, it's impossible. And then I guess this is how we need to understand that change is part of living.
yeah, becoming. You
That's
become
it.
every day.
Change is part of living. And if I feel sometimes afraid of this, I need to reflect that why is it that I've taken for granted the life as a fixed thing, you know? Or where is the problem? Is it my expectations? Is it the possibilities of the things that I ever wanted for myself? These are the things that the culture taught me.
Mhm.
This is the things that you should expect
Yeah.
from life. So it's very and I think it's all encompassed in, and it's philosophy entailed all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And as a student of philosophy, I always, when I come out of the class and I saw a couple of my students, the faces in awe, I feel so
Joy.
humble and at the same time very joyful, but extremely humble that this is something I told you, Samima.
Yeah.
I wrote something about it. I truly think that I'm so privileged that logos talk through me.
Yeah.
And I'm so privileged,
Yeah.
and this is every time that I go to the
Yeah.
class. I put myself there
Yeah.
to be as a mediator.
As a vessel.
Exactly. As a vessel for the logos to talk.
Yeah.
And I think World Philosophy Day is more a birthday to me rather than my birthday, really. I feel that way at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah. We discovered ourselves through
Yeah,
philosophy.
exactly.
Both of us, for
Exactly.
us, it's what saved us. I think for me, it's what saved me,
Exactly.
and it keeps
And
saving
it
me every day.
exactly continue saving us. Continue
Exactly.
saving us.
So I think that's our gift to all
Yes,
of our
yeah,
listeners
for-
and viewers on World
exactly.
Philosophy Day.
And thank you so much for listening and joining us for this supposed to be a short episode.
Yes.
We'll see you in our next episode
Goodbye.
of Philosophers in the Therapy Room. Bye.
Thank you.